Hello and welcome to Jim's Kitchen. Today we're going to be diving into this cookbook from 1971. It's the Blender cookbook. In the 70s, using the blender is all the rage, and you can use it to do some cooking. I know I used this before in the past to make these blender ham balls, which were very exciting. Well, today I'm going to be trying out 3 more recipes from the Blender cookbook. First up, we're going to be making some Blender Reubens sandwiches. So bring out that blender and let's get cooking. First up, we need a can of corned beef. And this very greasy meat will be going into the blender now. Let's give that a quick pulse. I have a can of drained sauerkraut. I'm going to put that in next. And a half cup of Thousand Island dressing. Let's blend that for a minute. Boy, that's a fun texture. Kind of like pate. I have some toasted rye bread here, and I'm going to spread some of that mix on the top. And top with some sliced Swiss cheese. This is going to get broiled in the oven for 2 minutes. Blender Reubens. It's totally a Reuben with a fun texture. I think these are really meant for those little rye bread party rye. And it would be a great appetizer to bring to a party. I'm so thankful for the blender. What will I make next? Blender cooking sure is exciting. I just love this cookbook. And the pictures are kind of fun. Doesn't this look appetizing? Now what about this? Yum, 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 yum. Our next blender dish is a chicken and cheese casserole. Let's find out what's in this one. Fritos corn chips. We need to crush some in the blender. We'll need about 4 cups. I'm putting half of the chips inside of this glass baking dish that's been prepared on the bottom. And the other half I'm going to save in a bowl for the top for later. Next in the blender, you need a half cup of milk. A can of cream of chicken soup goes in now. Oh. Next, it calls for a jar of processed cheese. I'm just using a can of Campbell's cheddar cheese soup. A can of green chilies. A little minced onion. Blend until combined. Now I'm adding 2 cups of cooked chicken. And then you give it a quick pulse until coarsely chopped. Now I'm pouring this beautiful sloppy mixture on top of those crushed chips. And then sprinkle the rest of those chips on the top. Bake at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. It's said to bring it out and let it sit for 5 minutes. Well, it's very unique. It feels more like a soup inside of a casserole dish. So I'm just going to scoop some of the soup right into a bowl. Oh my. Here it is, chicken and cheese casserole. My stomach is kind of turning just looking at it. But I'm here for the tasting. It is definitely a slimy texture. I'm getting some spice from those green chilies. It feels like a soup with some corn chips on top. It's not really horrible. It's just a slimy texture. After 5 minutes, it did kind of thicken, and I'm quite enjoying it now. Let's finish off our 1971 Blender meals. We are going to be ending with a potato cheese custard. Let's do it. Okay, buddy, we're going to use you one more time. Cup of milk. 3 eggs. We need 5 ounces of processed cheese. I'm using this pub cheese with cheddar and horseradish. I'm also adding this cream of bacon soup. Have you ever heard of that? I was kind of surprised. It called for 1/4 of a small onion, while my backyard was just covered in chives. So I'm adding a bunch of chives instead. And a teaspoon of dry mustard. Blend until combined. I've cut up a few potatoes, and those get poured in there, and blended briefly. Pour that into a prepared baking dish. And this gets baked at 350 for 50 to 55 minutes. Well, it's out of the oven, and I've let it sit for 10 minutes to help stiffen a bit. But there it is, it's a custard. Very potato-y. And it tastes like the 1970s. I'm very curious. Would you be interested in any of these dishes? I'm so glad you could join me here and trying out new, unique things. If you want to see more videos like this, click like and ding that bell. Thanks for watching Jim's Kitchen. See you next time. Did you read the customer reviews about the blender? Apparently it's getting mixed results.